Happy Thursday, family. I am Monica May, and you're watching One Take Live. I missed you guys. Last week, I had a commitment with the city of Orlando that we made, before COVID. We were able to do the Civil Rights Awards ceremony virtual last year, but we were determined to do it live this year, and it happened to be on a Thursday. So since the commitment was made, I honored it, and I was there, and it was a fantastic time. But I sure missed you, and I'm looking forward to tonight. We're going to be speaking with Renita Hunt, RJ Hunt, as she goes by, especially on social media, but she's the executive director for Dress for Success Incorporated. It is a national brand, but she does something that is so special with it. She has taken our DFS here in Central Florida leaps and bounds from where it was when I first was introduced to it here locally. So Renita, thank you so much for being on with us tonight. I just want to get all up in there. Let's talk about Dress for Success. Let's talk about Renita. Let's talk about your vision for the growth of this phenomenal organization that really benefits women.
Awesome. I'm so excited. Thank you for that intro. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's been 10 years with Dress for Success. When I first relocated here from Atlanta, my husband was working and I said, I need something to do. I always said I would volunteer when I get around 60 years old. Guess what? I'm not 60. So I started volunteering and I would come in and personal shop with the ladies. Once I got there, I started having ideas on, why don't you do this for the event? Some marketing ideas. And they invited me to say, why don't you attend our next board meeting and let the board members know? Went to the board meeting and I was pulled aside and asked, we'd like to vote you in on the board. I was so overwhelmed because I didn't think this would happen till I was 60. 10 years later, I've held almost every position at Dress for Success. I sort clothes, I clean clothes. I also do speaking engagements, which people see me do, and they think those are the awesome things. But I also counsel clients, people who have lost everything last night, people who have had a fight with their significant other and just melt in my arms. And so it's not all the glitz and the glamour. We actually do some work, but we also do some fun stuff, playing fashion dress up with our ladies. Our ladies come to us, they're able to get a full suit, shirt, jewelry, and shoes, and handbag.
I love it. Now, Dress for Success began when? Tell us the backstory of DFS.
Absolutely. Started in 1996, and a young woman got an inheritance from her grandparents, $5,000. And she says, I want to help women with this. She started in a basement of the church in New York. And now we're in 160 cities across the globe. In Orlando, we have been on Winter Park Tech's campus for 20 years. In October, this will be our 20th year of service. So we're so excited to keep serving the ladies here.
The one thing that I have learned about Dress for Success in every city that I've ever worked with, I've been in media in those cities and would always do clothing drives. But we would take it one step further. We would actually, as the DJs, participate in communication skills, just life skilling with them, maybe just sitting with them and listening to their stories. And I'm telling you, some real tearjerker stories. But what they walk out of there with, their shoulders are back, their heads are held high. And yeah, they do have that new suit, but they also have some interview skills. They have some just knowing that another woman really cares about them. That takes a lot. How did you develop the teamwork that makes that all possible?
Wow. I will just have to, it's nothing but God. I was Renita. I'm still Renita, right?
Okay.
And so there's nothing special about me, but it's something about my gifts and my talents that resonates with the women that I can trust you. You're my friend. Whether it's clients, whether it's the people that work with me, my goodness, I could not do anything that I do without the great team of volunteers and, of course, my leadership with my board. My goodness, they entrust me with full responsibility, and I am grateful for that. And so just having a servant leader attitude where, okay, we got to sort 100 pounds of clothes. I'll get in there and do it with you. They respect that about me and know that I am here for them no matter what.
One of the things that makes a good leader is one that will serve. And that is the one thing that I've always recognized about you, Renita. One thing that I will never forget is one of the last family reunions that we did.
Yes.
You sent a proposal to me. Well, you called me and you said, what about, and we went through all of the logistics of it. And I said, we have a whole like event inside of an event. Let's put together a proposal. And Tom's people loved it. When I tell you they loved it, they gave Dress for Success a booth there on the floor. They bought over 100 blazers. And Renita put blazers on students, on women who came through there, on grandmothers who came through there, vendors who needed jackets. And now what makes you connect with the community like that? That's a plus.
My goodness. So I would go back to my experience in marketing communications. I have a degree in PR from Clark Atlanta University. Go HBCU.
All right. And, you.
Yes. And so with that background, I kind of see things differently. Also, my core strengths are, my talents are ideation and strategic alignment. So I said, I had this idea and, I kept saying, I need to get this out. I need to say something about this, but it was never the right time. And I said, oh my goodness, this might be the last family reunion. I think at that time we didn't know that COVID was going to hit and all these things were going to happen. But I said, I'm just going to call Monica May and just pitch it to her. And I think it was so funny because you were like, well, hold on. Okay, that sounds good. But you gave me a chance, and I appreciate that. It was just a big idea that now has become another offering and service that we offer in the city of Orlando, and that's Blazers for Success. The idea of changing the confidence of our young people by showing them to have a wardrobe staple of a blazer. We showed them that they can wear it with their skinny jeans, joggers, shorts, but how it changed their look and they can be respected more with just that little wardrobe staple piece. Some of them got in line. They said, I don't want a blazer. I don't want to be in this. They put the blazer on and they said, oh my goodness. I'm boss. And then they asked some key questions. Hey, can I let my mom know about this? She needs some clothes. Can I let my aunt know about this? She needs some clothes. My uncle know about this. And that's impactful because we took a seed that we put in them and now we have infiltrated the Dress for Success messaging to their home communities.
And the interesting thing is that you've taken it down to their generation. And absolutely. That's a key point because if these kids are not in, say, a private school, or they're not going to have to wear a uniform that consists of that jacket. So they may not own one. And that's the important thing. And when you said that, you said for any and everyone, teens on up, I said, ooh, she is on to something. I wanted to share with you that I'm doing a broadcast journalism class over at Frontline Outreach. And it's really more sports oriented, but I don't know much about sports, but I do know a lot. Yeah. So I'm thinking if you have maybe about 20 more.
Done.
We can put these young ladies in them, and I've got some young men in there too. And I'll go from little teeny, when I say that, 11-year-olds up till about 13, 14. So we'll talk about some sizing, and that would be so wonderful. These young people are from Legends Academy, so that's a charter school, and Dr. Jennifer Porter Smith calls them her scholars. So wouldn't she? Yeah, she would love that. So if you're just tuning in, Renita Hunt is the executive director of Dress for Success. And I had her on so she could tell her story, her trajectory. She didn't come here with the idea of really blasting out for Dress for Success. She moved to Orlando in pursuit of something to do while her husband pursued his career choice. That in itself speaks volumes. Let's talk about that kind of, I don't want to say that kind of coupleship in a relationship. Let's talk about that, given what you were doing, because you were major.
I was, but I also had the backing of family. My family, both sides are old Orlando. So sometimes I say things in conversation. People say, how do you know about that? You didn't grow up here, but my family did. And so being able to come here once and twice a year through my growing up years really made Orlando my second home. And so when he got the call, I was like, this is a no-brainer. But in the transition, I said, I'm going to take some time off. Honestly, Monica, I was a workaholic. You know how it is in marketing communications. We got to be here. We got to be there. We got to be at this event in the after party. You know all about that. And so I took time and I said, I want to give back. And I love fashion. And I always gave suits to this organization. I said, okay, Dress for Success. I looked them up. I started dressing women one day a week. And that's how it started. Just that working on my passion. So I tell anybody who has a passion for something, see if there's a nonprofit that aligns with that. It won't necessarily come quickly. I've been volunteering essentially for 10 years. And then after those 10 years, we had a pandemic. And my corporate job I was let go from my corporate job due to downsizing. And so it was the time to kind of make a pivot. And I still internally said, I don't know if I'm ready. And the board said, Renita, you've been doing this job. You are this job. Come on.
What was it like following your husband here, even though you were familiar with the city, and giving up all of that nightlife, fun life, party life, and all of that chutzpah that made you RJ?
Like I said, I think it's just different portions of your life and what really speaks to your soul. At the time, I had two grandparents that I knew they were kind of at their end of life journey. And I said, how do I want this to happen? Do I want to be flying down 75 or do I want to be here and be around the corner when that happens? And so I was blessed to be here to the end for both of their lives. And I think it's just, you need different things at different times. In my 20s, in my 30s, I needed nightlife and everything that goes on in Atlanta. In my 40s, I need something different. I need family. I need community. I need more kind of reaching out to people and letting them know about my journey. That's where I'm at now.
Okay. In the last few minutes that we have, Renita, tell us how the community can sew into Dress for Success.
Absolutely. So I would be remiss if I didn't start with monetary donations. We've had a whole year, almost 2 years now. We did not have our fundraising event. So if that is placed on your heart, you can just send an email to coordinator@dressforsuccess.greaterorlando.org. Same thing if you have clothing donations. We always need clothing donations. And although this is not necessarily our sole offering, we have a couple of projects that we're working with partner referral agencies. So we are collecting men's clothes. So you can also send an email to the coordinator email as well. I also invite everybody to like us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter, Dress for Success Greater Orlando. And whenever you want to volunteer, we have opportunities all the way from the personal shopping, the sorting, all the way up to leadership board positions. So let us know that as well.
I got to keep all of that in mind. And we've been posting your information. And this interview will run on YouTube as well and on our Facebook page. Listen, Renita, we got to have you back for one more discussion. And that is, you are a social media guru. And I want to pick your brain about that. So please tell me you'll
Awesome.
come back.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. Thank you so much, RJ Hunt.
Thank you.
You are a gem to this community, and we love you. Thank you.
Thank you. So are you.
Thank you. All right. So don't go anywhere because we have a twofer tonight. It is really important that we understand what our country has just said yes to, and that is giving us Juneteenth as a holiday. Giving us, voting it in, we already knew that we were honored and deserved it, but now it is true. The House, the Senate, and the House has passed Juneteenth now as a nationally recognized holiday. And with us now to really talk about that and just what our NAACP, especially the Orange County branch, is doing, we have the president. Yes, the president, Miss Tiffany Hughes, or Mrs. Tiffany Hughes. Welcome to One Take Live, Tiffany. Thanks for being on with us.
Thank you so much.
Where are you coming to me from? You must be outside. And she's already frozen on us. Oh my gosh. All right. So we're going to make sure that we can get her back. Tiffany, are you back in solid for me now? Let's try it again.
Solid, so I'm outside my own home. So I hope I'm solid.
Okay. But you're freezing up on me, darling. And that's the hard part. So let me get back in the frame and we will just talk about the importance of Juneteenth. And I will also share with you that tomorrow evening, 7 p.m., I want you to join me again. Valencia College is doing a wonderful commemoration on the importance of Juneteenth, and we're bringing back Dr. Felicia Williams. Now, if you know Dr. Felicia, she was on our West Campus, that's on Kirkman Road for Valencia, and she did phenomenal things with the students and faculty, the community, the support, period. Dr. Felicia was a powerhouse, and she's gone to the Baltimore, the DMV area, that Baltimore, Maryland area, to lead up a college there, but we're bringing her back tomorrow night, and she's going to be the co-host with me on the Juneteenth celebration. And why we wanted to have Mrs. Tiffany Hughes on, first of all, she is the youngest NAACP president that they've had. Yes, and she is a savvy businesswoman. She is a phenomenal leader, and she's somebody that's really connected to our community. And we're going to try and get her back. Tiffany, you there, darling? Come on.
Is that better?
That is much better, my love.
Okay.
How are you doing?
I'm very well. Thank you, Monica. I appreciate you having me so very much.
And you might want to turn your volume up just a little bit if you can. And that would be good. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about first of all, congratulations on your position as president now of the NAACP, the Orange County branch. Tiffany, are you the youngest one yet to have that role?
I'm the youngest one in anyone's memory. So the branch itself was started in 1929. And we haven't done the best job at keeping record of every single president. So I can date back at least to the 90s, whereas Larry Colton, who's currently our Armed Service Veteran Affairs Chair, was the president, and prior to that, Mr. Brooks. But I don't know anyone before that. So I've really galvanized around the community to try and catalog all of our past presidents and as much of our executive committee that can be remembered. So at the very least, I know as far back as 1990, which is the year I was born, I am the youngest president in the last 30 years.
Okay. Well, we receive that and we receive you. And as long as I've been in this market, this city, I believe so as well. Now, what made you want to take on a role? Those are some tremendous footsteps to jump into. What made you want to do that?
By nature, I am a problem solver. So I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. And I went to college at FIU and moved back to Brooklyn after college, and really just galvanized around Brooklyn, Bushwick, what rezoning looks like, what gentrification looks like, how to better my community, getting involved with local elected officials, signing petitions and making claims and getting my block really involved in how to beautify, make us better, keep Brooklyn as best we can. And that has really just transcended throughout other experiences. During, I want to say 2018, I moved into Orange County from Seminole, and I'm often the youngest person in the room. And I went to an event for Congresswoman Val Demings, and she was talking to the community at the time about the 116th Congress and who she was voting in for leadership. And Ms. Beverly Neal, who was the president of the branch at that time, saw me, and we started talking about civil rights. And she said, I need a chair for the young adult committee. You want to do that? And I said, absolutely. That, that's my vibe. I'm a young adult. I would love to put together programming for us. And from that experience, I really got involved with the branch, but more importantly, NAACP on a national level has made an investment in young leaders through its Next Gen program, which is started in 2018. And it is a year-long training. Some of the participants go in person for training. So we've been to Detroit and Arizona and various parts of the country training together. And then parts of the training are virtual. And while seeing everyone is great, the biggest piece was that we were boots on the ground, like really working together to learn the business of the NAACP historically, information on voting, how to put together a voter registration. If you want to run for an elected official position, how do you really get involved with environmental justice within your communities and what that looks like. And what NAACP Next Gen really brought was a community of young leaders that I could call on if I was having a problem or I had an idea or I wanted to flush out something as it relates to NAACP business. And because they taught us how to be leaders in the world, but leaders specifically in the NAACP, I saw things that I wanted to change about my NAACP. I'm calling my administration a more present, transparent, present, and publicized NAACP. I don't want us to learn of what's happening in my community from somebody else. I want NAACP to be at the table, because if Black people are at the table, then we can inform everyone else on what's happening to us. And with that, I'm a 2019 Next Gen graduate. My VP is a 2018 Next Gen graduate, the inaugural class, and my secretary is a 2020 Next Gen graduate. So to say that Next Gen is working would be an understatement.
Okay, so with that being said, how do we make the current generation understand the importance and the value of a historic organization like the NAACP? And that's a question that I've asked of even the Urban League. I've asked it of all of our Black organizations to make sure that the generations understand the importance.
It starts with meeting them where they are. I don't want to, as a high schooler, want to listen to a lecture. For example, the NAACP is hosting interns this summer. We're hosting 5. And during conversation on Monday about Juneteenth, what I realized is they didn't actually know much. Black history wasn't a big part of the conversation, and therefore Juneteenth was a blurb within that history. And what I did was galvanize the community. I got on social media and I said, hey, does anyone know a history teacher, a leader,
I saw that post.
Someone who's interested in speaking? That was on Monday. That was on Tuesday, I'm sorry. By Tuesday afternoon, I had secured 4 speakers that spoke today, that including Representative Thompson, who is a wealth of knowledge. I mean, I had no idea. I learned. Ms. LaVon Bracey, Desmond Davis, who is a teacher at ACE, Haley Swindle, who is a Next Genner alongside me. She's in my cohort class. And those ladies had so many questions for them, things they didn't know. So it's about making the information easily accessible, but also presenting in a way that can be fun, that's engaging, that we had 4 speakers, so they got to move through. Everyone had a different opinion, a different perspective, different historical context. And it was really just a great moment, a great panel. and I know they learned a lot.
So will we be able to do more with our younger generation, and then keeping sure that we make the older generation who we're riding on their shoulders and they did all of the boot stepping for us, making sure that we stay connected? How are you going to do that for the organization?
So I like to say it's not us or them. It's not the younger generation versus the older generation. It's all of us working together. I stand, to your point, I stand on the shoulders of giants. And I keep saying that there's such a rich history just within Orlando. And it's my job as NAACP president to archive that, to start to tell that story more readily, make it more available. So as it relates to our students, again, it's meeting them where they are. It's going to the schools, it's going to the basketball games, it's making civil rights fun. It's saying, hey, you know, it's influencing. Civil rights is everything. It's what you learn in school. It's the health system that affect us. It's what you learn in college. It's the laws that protect us and or stifle us. So explaining it in a way that's palatable and fun and relatable. And sometimes that's at a party.
Yes. What about membership? Still looking for members in the Orange County branch? How can we do that?
Absolutely. Membership is the lifeblood of the organization, and the work of the NAACP is done within its committees. So if you are looking to join the branch, you can go on naacp.org/become a member. Our branch is 5120. Our website is going through a complete revamp, so I want the community to stay tuned for an updated, new, fresh website that will be coming at the end of August, beginning of September, in time for everyone to be like back in the swing of things. School has started and we're getting back to work and off of vacation. But you can also email ocflnaacp@gmail.com. You can email me personally, Tiffany Hughes, naacp@gmail.com. I answer emails, phone calls all the time, all day. I'm happy to meet and talk about the branch and talk about the work we're looking to do. There are 20 committees within our branch.
Very good.
So I like to say, don't get involved in everything. Rather, you don't have to get involved in everything. That's a quick way to get burnt out. But find the committee that speaks to your heart. Because if you invest in the place where you're most connected to, that is going to reflect in your programming. That is going to reflect in your commitment.
Let me ask you in the last 2 minutes your take on the passing of Juneteenth. Now, what would the NAACP say?
I am excited that it is federally recognized, but we have a lot of work to do.
By that, you mean what more?
So we talk about Juneteenth as a federal holiday, but going back to the fact that our students don't know enough about Black history. This is a drop in the bucket. This is a move forward, but there's so much educational context that still needs to be looked at in terms of our educational systems. We're still, police brutality is still high. Qualified immunity is still a conversation that has not moved forward. Anti-lynching as a bill has not passed through the Senate. So I'm so happy that federally we've decided to recognize Juneteenth, but voter suppression is still happening. Voter suppression as a bill just passed through our legislature in its last session. So when I say there's still a work to do, there's still laws and legalities that are keeping us confined or oppressed, or that have moved and changed to make Black people not be able to progress as we should. So there's just the work to do.
Okay, all right. When is the next NAACP Orange County branch meeting?
Orange County branch meetings happen every 4.
You just went, say it again.
Branch NAACP meetings happen every 4th Monday. We actually post the Zoom meetings, like the link, on our Facebook. And we actually post every single committee meeting on our Facebook. So if you look on our Facebook and you just want to jump into an education meeting or jump into a health committee meeting or AXO, political action, whatever the case may be, feel free. The Zoom link is right there and available for you. We use the same ones all the time.
All right. Thanks so much, Mrs. Tiffany Hughes from the Orange County branch of the NAACP. Thank you so much for giving us the information and your take on Juneteenth and for being our guest this evening on One Take Live.
Thank you so much, Monica. I appreciate it very much.
All right. And thank you so much to Renita Hunt, who was our first guest from Dress for Success. We look forward to you. If you want to reach out to us, MonicaMayCommunications.com. And again, you can watch this on our Facebook page and on YouTube. We thank you so much. I'm Monica May. This has been One Take Live. Have a wonderful